Got a listener question from Linda in Buford. Says, my husband and I are very worried that the value of our home will decrease over the next year. So we're thinking of selling now. How do we know for sure what we should do? Let me tell you about Frank, who we visited with in Marietta. Frank decided late last year that he wanted to sell his house. Let's just call it a $310,000 house. So that puts him very close to the average sales price of homes in Metro Atlanta. He was unsuccessful selling his house. I think he realizes now that he probably chose the wrong agent to help him sell his house. Because in today's market, especially with coronavirus, you need to have ways of marketing a home so a typical buyer can get a full understanding of what the house has to offer and whether or not it might be something they want to pursue without actually coming there. And the issue is, to do that, it actually takes money because you have to do expensive, fancy, three-dimensional virtual tours to allow somebody to literally walk through the home without actually being there. So Frank is worried that the value of his home is going to decrease moving forward because he didn't do the right things to sell his home when he listed it last year and early this year. He took it off the market just in the last couple of weeks. And we had a conversation with Frank, and we helped Frank understand that that's not something he needs to worry about. Now, there were a few things that were not right with the property, but they're inexpensive things that will take just a few days to get fixed up, cleaned up, get ready to go. The reality is that the market for Frank's house is still very strong. And how do we know it's strong? Well, in that price range, in that area of Cobb County, we know that there's only 1 month's worth of inventory available in that $50,000 price band that Frank's house would fit into. We know the number of homes that have sold in that price band, that $50,000 price band, in the last year. And we know how many properties are currently listed in that price band today. And so then we can figure out if X number of homes sold on average per month for the last 12 months, then the odds are as we move forward, the same number of houses, and it could be that a few more houses or just a few less houses, but the odds are that the same number of houses are going to sell each month as we move forward. So when we say that it is a seller's market in Frank's situation, we mean that it has less than 4 months worth of inventory, which means there are more buyers out there looking for properties in that price band, in that area, than there are sellers who are trying to sell properties. And so my suggestion for you, Linda, if you're out there and you're worried, is that you don't need to guess whether or not you should worry about the value of your home. I think a good inventory analysis or an absorption rate analysis for your area, where somebody could compute for you the months of inventory available in your price range, in your condition of property, but don't just assume that the market is going to be bad later in the year, because it could be that prices continue to appreciate at or equal to the appreciation that took place in the Atlanta market last year. And I would say the average home in Metro Atlanta probably, and let's just take that $250,000 to $325,000, $250,000 to $350,000 price range, that average home last year probably appreciated somewhere in the 6% range, 5% range. If your home is in the average price range, you could probably stay in the home if that's what you choose to do. If you want to move on, the question to me, Linda, sounded like you really didn't want to move on. You thought you needed to sell your house so you didn't lose money. And I think you could stay in that home so that you could enjoy it for another year. And if you were thinking of selling next year or the year after, I think you would probably be in just as good a shape.